Want something done? You know how the phrase ends, don't you? Got to do it yourself. If you're watching this channel, then you're an introspective person, you're curious, you're inquisitive, and you question things. And it's quite easy, I think, to make the mistake of thinking other people are the same. And they're not. Most people are not questioning. They will do what they're told. And then they're not listening to you. So when you get an insult thrown at you, whatever it may be, at least what sounds like an insult, people aren't talking about you. What they're actually doing is communicating to you slightly clumsily or not very directly that they disagree with what you've said, you know, with varying degrees of hysteria or hyperbole, you know, or being very histrionic. You know, I think this is the reality that you have to face, that most people, you know, aren't particularly intelligent, or at least they're not particularly willing to see things or try and see things from another person's point of view. And life is, I say a lot that life is messy, and what I mean by that is it's never sort of fully formed. It's moving all the time, and there are dynamics in relationships that shift over time. And I think most of life actually is negotiating the fact that we are not static beings. We have desires at various stages of our lives, and they wax and they wane, and certain things will seem more important to you than at other times. And this is why I feel like letting go is a really important thing. You know, you don't want to be haunted by ghosts of your past, and you don't want to actually inflict that on yourself, because it's a huge waste of time to to try and hold on to all of these things. Now, I'm exactly 2 months into the final split with my ex, and I'm getting a lot of insights. You know, there are still moments where I sort of miss him. It's a weird feeling because I know he's gone. But there are also times where I think of being with somebody else and thinking, oh, well, you know, it won't be him. And that's, you know, part of the grieving process, which I feel like I'm doing far more successfully now. I don't feel quite as desperate. And it relates, you know, when people come at you and they don't agree with you, and they just assume that people want their own way all the time, which I think we all do if we're honest. But some of us are, you know, more reasonable. But when somebody throws something at me, I don't react in the same way as I used to. I don't get as angry as I used to. But again, none of it is perfectly formed. It's day by day, it's step by step. And people will come at you. They will try and they'll try and take territory all the time. And there are times where you have to stand up and learn how to say no to people, which can, I find, extraordinarily uncomfortable at times, even now. But the more that I stand my ground and use my head and my heart, you know, the better that life becomes, frankly. And all of it, as I say often, all of it is your decision. Decide what you want to give energy to and go and do it yourself, because you can take this as fact that nobody in the world, no matter what they say, nobody in the world wants what you want more than you. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't want it more than you. You should want it wholeheartedly, because then that means that you're in control of it. You're in charge. You're leading, you know, you're leading the way. And some people will follow and some people won't. And it's all fine. It's all absolutely fine. We see this through history, that there are people that say yes to things, people that say no. But what separates not even the 1% of people, tiny percentage of people, is that they do keep going. They have a noble mission in mind and they go for it. So you go for what it is that you want. Get clear on what that is. And you can do that at the end of the year. You could do that in spring. You could do that in summer. You can do it whenever you want to do it. There's no rule that says it has to be done at a particular time. But the best time to sort all of these things out in your head, well, guess what? It's always now. It's always do it sooner rather than later. Face things head on and face them with gratitude that you're willing to face them and that you know that you're strong enough and resilient enough, as I also say a lot of the time, to actually be able to deal with things, because human beings, my friends, we are infinitely more capable than we currently give ourselves credit for. So always remember to live your own life and do it wholeheartedly and do it yourself.